Thanks. Approval of the minutes.
Hi, Dave, by the way. Dave?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
It is not. He had a busy day, I think, right?
Yes. Yes, I think so. Okay.
Here, are you taking minutes?
Yeah.
My chair.
Sorry, what? So we're reviewing meeting minutes?
Address all these accusations that they're going to be.
Okay, we're reviewing meeting minutes right now.
Here's an extra chair.
Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? You're still working, sorry.
Yeah, I'm still. Okay, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Yeah, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. The resident organization report?
That's for Dave.
All right, now, he's a tenant commissioner report, your resident organization, right?
Okay. So when you got to do it, you can accommodate. Oh, excuse me. Here's a copy of our most recent agenda.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Now,
Copy of the agenda. And there are two complaint forms here.
okay,
I'll let you pass them out. One is for complaining between two tenants. In other words, two tenants are having a dispute, and one tenant would like to complain about the other tenant. There's a form there for that. And then there's also a form there for reporting a problem with management.
okay,
Okay, that would go to David. And so, and the other forms we would refer to Cheryl as dealing with management. Okay, so that would cover us with two types of complaints receiving from tenants. And we would have a mechanism to track those complaints.
okay. So one would go to Dave and one would go to Cheryl,
Right.
depending on the type of complaint.
Right.
Okay, great. That addresses our,
Right, and either complaint could go to David, so that the people, and then he can discern where it goes.
okay,
I'm just not getting in the middle of two tenants.
right.
Right.
That's now.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
I don't blame you at all.
Okay?
That's fine.
Great.
That was about, that was our new business in terms of tenant complaints. As far as old business, the treasurer's report, we did receive our stipend of $1,250 from Cheryl for the end of the year. So that was received, thank you very much. So that goes into our bank balance, which David can tell you anytime at all on his phone. But I'll pass on that because I'm not sure where we stand since he didn't get a chance to
It's in there,
deposit.
it's in the bank.
Okay. Old business, we just updated people about the courtroom flight and the financing application. I will note that I did go on the website for the LIHTC financing, which is the state chapter financing, and our application is posted there. Parkside is this.
Could you start that sentence again? I'm not.
Okay, sure. In terms of old business,
The second old business.
okay, redevelopment, we
Yeah, okay.
dealt with the courtroom flight, updated people about that, and then about the financing application. Okay, it is currently updated on the chapter website in Hartford that our application is put in.
Okay.
so it is noted there with, and the other priority for general housing, I believe, are a project in Bridgeport, project in Hartford, project in Greenwich, and I can't remember the other two, but there are like 5 projects total in the general public application field. And from what I'm hearing from people in Hartford, it sounds very good.
Good.
So that's updated. We updated people about that. As far as hiring a lawyer to file a 501c3, I still need to follow up with Jay on that, and I will do that in the future. New business programs. We're considering an exercise program for the seniors. All right, and we put up a sign-up sheet to see if people would be interested for that, and based upon the interest, we would do that. It's been offered to us by
Caroline.
Caroline, sorry. By Caroline, and she's offered to do it for free, and she's certified and has all insurance.
Excellent.
So that would be a program we'd be able to offer for the seniors.
Fantastic.
And it's light stretching once a week for an hour or so. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, by the way, again for that. All right, we're looking at a grill purchase. We want to talk to Cheryl about that first. Water repairs. We just updated people that there were water repairs going on the property down by building C. Building B.
B.
Right.
Our building.
Tenant meeting, we had a tenant meeting with Beacon.
Okay, hold on.
When at water,
Water repairs, there's water repairs going on in front of building B, where they have the ground all torn
Right,
up.
was, right.
okay.
Okay,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, I'm
That's okay, I'm
talking faster than I
trying
can
to
think.
keep up.
All right, I'm just following along the agenda too, so if
Yes.
that helps you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, tenant meetings, we had a meeting with Merritt and Beacon, and we have another meeting with Beacon coming up the 23rd of January, and that's gonna be a tenant only meeting, no outside directors or individuals,
Okay,
because we wanna focus on the new rents
okay,
and moving, and we wanna make people feel comfortable in that setting.
perfect.
All right, tenants complaints, we went through that process and then we adjourned. That's it.
Excellent.
Any questions?
Any questions?
No.
All right.
You're still right.
Yes.
He's going for this here.
Oh, thank God. Okay, got it, okay.
All right, so that's it, Jamie?
Yes,
Okay, I'll move on to Dave to the tenant commission report.
Yeah, I just have one complaint I've been hearing is the park side, building C, the elevator isn't working. Has it been repaired? The lift
Building,
hasn't been working?
it does work, but they're coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, they
I
are.
got 2 people came to me.
Yes,
Okay.
it is working. It's like, it's almost like jumping a little bit with the hesitation, but it is working, but it's very slow.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very slow and sluggish, but they're coming
They're
out.
coming, they're already been called. I told them that,
This end of this
like
week.
as I said to Joanne, I said it was in progress.
Early next week.
Other than that, no, it's been quiet.
Okay, quiet's good.
Yeah.
Cheryl, management report.
Okay. I'm gonna start to address Commissioner Mark Colella's email sent to me and board members on Saturday, December 14th. And the first thing is Merritt did not take it upon themselves to install residential heaters in the handy lifts pits at Parkside Village 1 or 2. The general contractor of the Small Cities Grant in 2007 added the heaters to keep the fluids lucid, as the lifts were inoperable at that time without any heat. You had called the town building official and the deputy fire chief, and I believe that this was an attempt to accuse Merritt Properties of not following the fire code. I spoke with both the fire chief and the deputy fire marshal to discuss their concerns, and we're waiting for the company that services the lift and the electrician to provide alternative options available to keep the hydraulic fluid lucid. Number 2, attached is a billing and description of the power washing and painting for the summer months. We are advised that a flyer was circulated by Commissioner Mark Colello and members of the Friends of Indian Neck to the residents at Parkside Village. This flyer stated that Merritt Properties billed Branford Housing Authority $6,000 for power washing. We are attaching a document that will prove that this flyer is false and that Commissioner Mark Colello is trying again to discredit Merritt Properties. Some education for the gossip seekers on Branford leaks is that Merritt Properties is a contractor for the Branford Housing Authority. Under our contract, we provide maintenance staff and a resident service coordinator. Branford Housing Authority is responsible to reimburse all pay, benefits, and taxes that it costs Merritt Properties for these employees. On the evening of our last meeting, an article was published on Branford Leaks, which stated that Branford Housing Authority pays the health benefits for all the employees of Merritt Properties. Also was a comment about the budget. A budget is presented as proposed until it's approved. Each year, the Branford Housing Authority Commissioners present a budget to CHAFA after it has been approved. The information published is false information and is being used as a smear campaign by an individual or individuals that attend the meeting against Branford Housing Authority and Merritt Properties. The town of Branford hired an audit firm to review 30+ years of certified audits that were conducted by DECD and outside audit firms. There were no findings and all funds collected and dispersed were accounted for. Number 3, the gutters are periodically cleared during the year by maintenance. Pictures attached are flowing water. This is not the cause of crumbling concrete balconies. This was a design flaw. Contributing factors are exposed to the outside elements 24/7, which also includes the salt air. The plywood was installed as a short-term preventative measure. The intermediate plan was to install wire mesh, but was put on hold when Commissioner Mark Colello told the property superintendent and I that all work was to stop on the property and nothing could be done without his or the board approval. He was told that an engineer was contacted, and he stated that he was a contractor for years and we did not need an engineer, that he knows how to fix it. That is false. The past chairman and architect and Merritt Properties construction consultant inspected these areas, and it was decided that an engineer would be contacted to provide a budget price for the design services of design to repair or replace. According to CHAFA and DOH guidelines, an engineer design is in fact required to be submitted for this type of work, especially if critical needs funds are used. Number 4, vacancy update is attached. Commissioner Mark Colello has picked up keys to vacant units at PK1 to obtain quotes to fit up. He has not yet returned to pick up keys for Parkside 1 units to view with a contractor.
Can I just interrupt you? Misspoke there and said that he picked up keys to vacant units at Parkside 1, and you meant to say Parkside 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, Parkside 2. Thank you. Trash and recycling quotes are attached to service Parkside Village 1 and 2. John Refuse bid $1,195 a month, CWPM $840, and all waste $1,100. But recycling would only be picked up once a week in their proposal. Number 6, snow removal. The contractor was contacted after the last meeting to review concerns with the first storm and most recent storm with the sanding, salting upper lot with this truck sander. They apologized and have made modifications in their service plan. Number 7, water main breaking servicing A and B building was repaired as an emergency by the plumber and excavator. The disturbed area will be restored by the landscaper. Number 8, work orders are attached for December. Under tenant issues. A, cleanup notices have gone out as attached. Unit A18 at Parkside 1 and C32 at Parkside 2 have not cooperated with our request. The board needs to take a position on what next step for us to take. B, there were 5 residents that required health-related police presence during the last month. Management, family, and caseworkers have been notified and are addressing them accordingly. Last month, a resident indicated that the police were on the property with their guns drawn. There's an attachment in your packet indicating that that was not true. The officer in charge of the incident was contacted and stated yes, they were on the property, however, they did not have their guns drawn. The incident involved a motor vehicle accident and the suspect went with the officers willingly without an incident. C, A18 has requested that the AC charge of $175 be waived, claiming it was not used for the summer of 2019. This requires a board decision, as in the past, if someone was no longer using their air conditioner, it was removed from the sleeve and there was no charge. This was not done. D, parking lot 1 upper parking lot. More tenants are requesting parking spaces at the upper lot due to aging and health-related issues. At this time, we do not have any spaces available. E, incident complaint forms were given to Jamie, Dave, and Mark as requested. Additional forms are on the office doors for residents to take. F, management would like to continue to enforce the current lease by tagging and towing unregistered or inoperable vehicles left on the parking lots, which are a violation of the lease. Reasonable time to correct the situation. Oh wait, what happened now? Yeah, it does. But it's like, we usually give them reasonable time to correct the situation, and we need to know how the board would like to move forward with that. And in your packet is also the recertification packages that are being delivered in the next week. The tenants can reach out to Amber and I and move forward. And that's my report. And all of that's attached in your clip.
I'd like to make I would like to address some of these topics, because I actually think that this letter actually serves more as a smear campaign against me as a new commissioner than any of the hearsay that she's actually written down here, because I don't see any facts. For example, in paragraph 1, it says Mark Colello called the town building official and deputy fire chief. I absolutely did not call anyone, they actually called me. Anthony Sinicola, in fact, called my office to meet him over here at the elevator shaft because there was a complaint about the temporary portable heaters in the elevator shaft. So that is a false accusation. The power washing, I mean, I see references to the power washing. I've asked for specific invoicing for the power washing and the locations where the power washing was actually done, because I've walked this place so many times, I can't even see where it even begun.
Well, Greg can do that with you, but this whole property was not done. It was done in specific areas that were bad. We were in the midst of leasing up the units and fitting up units for Parkside 2, so that was not a priority. And so only the very bad areas were done. The whole complex was not done. And then the $6,000 that came about after the last meeting, I don't know where that came from.
I don't either. I mean, I know there's $6,000 allocated in the budget. I don't think anyone has said that $6,000 was paid out. I have asked you numerous times, what the actual disbursements were, and I would like to see the disbursements, and you never provided those.
You were provided that this evening when you asked for it.
Okay, well, I just got it.
And also,
Last
from last meeting. Right.
I was provided the disbursements for the power washing? No, I was not.
There is no disbursements. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We bill for our time for the maintenance and the RSC.
But certainly you must keep some log or ledger of what the disbursements are for, correct?
You have the receipt there, and then Kate has the billing that Merritt bills the bill to the housing authority.
It's very hard to discern what's going on, because everything seems like it's discombobulated and combined, and it appears to me, coming in as a new commissioner, that some things may have been paid in several different ways. And to go on to number 2, not to get hung up so much on these particular items individually, I think the condition of the property after 20 years of Merit managing it speaks for itself. It's a mess. But you make this accusation that Mark Colello is trying to, again, discredit Merit Properties. I don't discredit Merit Properties. I ask questions, and I think that you're offended by me asking questions for the accountability part of your management. I came here as a new commissioner, and I'm looking at the place, and 20 years, it's horrible.
But you didn't come and ask the questions, you came in accusing,
What
than asking.
What did I accuse you of? I would really like to know. What
Okay.
were you accused of?
Yeah, I think we need to.
No, but this is really important because there's accusations
But this
here
is a-
that I've never
right.
accused anybody of anything. I just asked questions and were never provided information. So if I'm
It's a public
trying to
meeting, I'm a
hold,
little concerned that this is kind of getting a little out of.
no, it's not getting it out of sorts. I just have, it's a clear
Okay.
She
question.
was allowed to accuse him.
You know, I mean, what did I make an accusation against you?
Yes, I've had tenants coming to me
Do you have
saying
any
that
facts?
you're knocking on doors and accusing us of shoddy management and that the place looks deplorable. Don't you
The place
realize that that's
actually does
what?
look deplorable,
Well,
but I never
don't-
made an accusation.
But don't you realize that that's why we're going for a rebuilding,
Okay.
a redevelopment?
But that doesn't excuse the past 20 years of your management with the place was
Okay,
wound up in this
okay, come on,
condition.
yeah, okay,
And-
so I just want to
all right,
say.
just going along,
Can I
let
just-
me go on to what the building inspector
Mark, let me
discussed
just
today.
make one comment. You have brought up your dissatisfaction with Merit. We formed which will be on the agenda, we will address some of this in the committee members when it comes up in the agenda. So if we can keep it brief, you have a couple more things to say about this. Otherwise, I mean, I think this is sort of some of this is between you and Cheryl. Some of this needs
Well, I mean,
answers
it's
from
brought
the
out in public and it's
commissioner.
actually gonna be on CCTV. It's not fair to me
No,
have these things brought out against me and I have no rebuttal.
Excuse me, these were
It's not a
things that you
forum for you
asked.
two to fight.
No.
Well, then you guys should have accepted
Then
this.
we should
You
address
should have
this.
accepted
You should
this.
address this.
These are really bad,
You be quiet.
okay?
I don't have to be quiet. I have a First Amendment right.
Let me just go on here because they want to move along, but I really want to, you know, I mean, I really need to
Don't
defend
ever tell
myself.
me.
These accusations are pretty
I have a
bad.
First Amendment
This
right.
is-
So,
The commissioners are speaking and they're speaking to different.
as far as the audits, I never even touched on anything regarding audits or anything like
This
that.
that was not pertaining to you.
Okay,
This was my management report
Okay.
of all of the items that have come up in
Okay.
the last month.
okay, that's fair.
Your email, I'm addressing things that you emailed to me on Saturday, December 14th. So
Okay.
these were my responses to your email.
Okay, well, there's no factual indications that I accuse anybody of anything.
Okay.
However,
So for the
going down to
record,
paragraph.
you would like to disagree with this document?
No, you know what I would like to do, Casey, I would like to stop and let you listen for a minute to what I have to say, because you guys always have something to say, and I gotta be quiet during all these meetings, and it's not right, it's
You
not
don't need to
fair,
be quiet.
okay? So just to be fair, you're going down to paragraph 3 now, the gutters are periodically cleared during the year. The building inspector pointed out how backed up the gutters were clogged with leaves and that the water was flowing over the gutters going down the parapet walls, which is actually causing the deterioration of the precast concrete slabs on the balconies. Okay? Secondly, I never said that I've been working with an engineer. I said I consulted with a family engineer regarding the temporary repairs on the balcony, and no, that is not a temporary solution that is smart to do by ram setting plywood to the concrete, because it retains water and it will cause further
But
deterioration on the slabs.
that was a first step. The
It's been here
second
for almost a
step,
year.
but what you're not understanding is that they came out and an engineer gave us a price, we were gonna move forward. You came on the board and said all items were to stop on the property.
No, here's what I said. I'll clarify what I said if you can't remember the things that I said, because I do. I said, do not ram set any more plywood to these precast balconies because you're causing further deterioration unless the commissioners vote on how to move forward on doing these temporary repairs. Because I've seen this a million times in the past 4 years being in construction. You don't ram set plywood to wet concrete. You instantly, and you use a wire mesh so that the water can drain down.
We were going to put the wire mesh.
Okay,
when
but you
came.
didn't. And the
Right.
plywood's still there today, right?
It is because you told us to stop and not do anything.
It's just one excuse after another. So, as far as the keys, last I spoke with you, you told me that you will let me know when you have the keys ready, and you have not called me in 3 weeks.
We had the keys that day that you came and looked at the,
You gave me a set of
We
keys for
said-
4 units.
right, but the day that you came by and looked at the break,
Okay.
we had the keys, we said that we would make up the keys and you can come and pick them up.
They were not here.
They were here,
They
they're at
weren't here the
Parkside
same
One.
day.
They were at Parkside 1.
Okay, well, no one really knew where they were at the time when I came here.
You had said you were going away.
And I
And
came
then-
before I went away, and no one knew where the keys were that were made.
They're on the desk at Parkside 1 in a big envelope marked with your name on it.
Okay, well, maybe you should tell your employees. As far as the water main break that was, the repair was done, is there a cost or a quote to repair the landscape in that area from the water repair?
Yeah, it was 400, I think 450 to repair it.
Okay. That's all I want to clarify. I really, if someone's going to make accusations like this in writing and film it, then I really should be afforded the right to defend myself because these are false.
Right. I understand I get lots of accusations made against me that aren't true too, so I understand how you feel. All right. Management Oversight Committee report.
Okay, I would like to make a statement now.
Okay?
It is obvious to me, and probably to the room, that it has come to the point that there are important issues that need to be addressed in an executive session. I am requesting an executive session to take place after the adjournment of this meeting, and I would like to invite the following non-members: Larry Glitch, Cheryl Danu, and Jay Pottinger to join the commissioners. Okay?
Okay.
Moving on.
All right.
Hey, Red.
Old business.
He knows it's all right.
It's fine. Red?
It's legal. Trying to
Red,
help you.
this is our meeting.
It's illegal.
Jay, can you dress up?
I don't know. I'm trying to see who said what.
I want to call an executive session after the meeting.
They can call an executive session during the meeting.
Yes.
Okay, then everyone will gonna have to leave the room and we'll call you back when we're done.
They were trying to be courteous to everybody by
Right.
doing it.
It's cold outside.
It's illegal.
It's cold, well, it's fine, it's cold
You
outside.
call the meeting back in order again after your executive session.
If people wanna go outside and wait, they can go outside and wait, that's fine.
Okay, so we'll call an executive session. Everyone but the named people
We'll have to
will
leave.
leave,
Okay, go ahead.
including the cameras.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you do have to mention what you're discussing.
We're discussing the committee's progress.
There's some serious stuff going on.
Why don't they want the town of Branford to
Right,
know about it?
I
I don't understand.
There's clearly some problems with management oversight that are impacting the residents and the board, and we have some things that involve, some serious decisions that are of confidential nature, and we need to, as a board, make some decisions before we bring it public.
Now you've done it correctly.
Say it again?
Now you've done it correctly. You're
Okay,
not allowed to-
thank you.
Fred.
Just remember, you're not allowed to take any votes.
Right, no voting votes?
No voting.
No doubt.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I do it a lot.
Yeah, you guys have to go.
The camera has to go.
And it has to be
The
turned
camera
off.
has to go.
Can I shut it off?
Take it out.
Take it out.
Take it out.
Take it out.
Thank you.
Take it out.
Sorry, we were trying to avoid all this.
Yeah, well, I'm back to know about it.
Well, let me just call the meeting.
Yeah.
All right, I make a motion to, or no, I'm going to call the meeting back to order. And Mark had something, a brief comment he wants to make.
Verify the record that the accusations of the manager's report are not fact, and that I do not ever, at any time or any moment, engage in any kind of online activity or any kind of public media forum or anything else at all, not one time. Nor have I ever called the building inspector or the fire department to engage in any complaints regarding the property manager at Parkside Village. Everything that I had spoken about or was concerned about, I have always directed it to the housing commissioners. I wasn't going around visiting, talking to people, or making false reports about anything, or acting out of sorts or out of order on online social media. I would never do that.
All right, thank you. I'm going to turn the floor over to Jay Hunter to explain our executive session briefly, if I could, Jim?
Thank you, sure. The executive session was beautifully civil, and the discussion of the Management Oversight Committee report resulted in a recommendation by that committee that they go forward to explore among the Branford Housing Authority, Merritt Property, and Beacon whether to make changes to the management contract. And once those parties have had their discussions, they'll report back at a public session of this group about how to proceed with respect to the management contract.
Thank you. Okay, back to our original agenda, old business. Old business generally has been the update on the redevelopment, and I don't think there's anything to report since last meeting. New business, anyone have any new business? No. Okay, and we're going to start something new this time. We're going to have a 10-minute public comment. So can I get a show of hands how many people approximately want to speak so we can see how long maybe everybody's going to have? 2? That's it? Okay. So you'll both probably have like 5 minutes to talk? Okay?
Good representative.
Okay, you want to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, Carolyn Sayers. Stacey, thank you for including this segment into the meeting, and I appreciate that you did take that under consideration. At the last meeting, I noticed it was said of Washington the Bridge that there is voice as well as video recording. I know I have been at Parkside and I've seen the cameras there, and I know Connecticut is a 2-party consent state. So I'm asking for myself personally that I would like any recordings that were voiced of me at any time on the premises. And I also, if you are going to continue to do the audio recording of residents, they have to be notified. It should be posted. I know that a comment was made that it was smudged or you can't hear it, but you can't really record people at all unless they know you're recording them and there's a consent. So if it has been remedied, that's great and looked into. If not, then I just want to know if I've been recorded when I was on the premise at all. I know that just reviewing the tape from the last minutes of the meeting, the comment was made that yes, but you can hardly hear it. Well,
No, they have a microphone on them. However, when we have played them on our iPads or phones, there's no voice. There's nothing there.
Okay, but if you review what you said the last meeting, and that's fine. I'm glad you clarified it. You said you could hardly hear it. It's
well, there's a microphone, but on our phones you can't hear anything.
Okay.
There's no sound. There's no sound.
So there is no sound.
There is no
has been no
sound.
recording of
No, there is no
anybody.
recording on our phones, and we have nothing.
Okay.
And can I add, I'm not part of the camera thing, but I believe they're posted in both buildings, that there's recordings.
Yeah,
There's recording that they're being filmed, but it doesn't say anything about the recording.
Surveillance.
But okay, so I'll review that and clarify that.
And for the record, we're being recorded here tonight. Everybody has, there's being video and sound recorded.
Right, and as a public meeting, we're aware of that. It's just in private, if it did happen, I just was requesting that. And then I noticed from the very first meeting, a question was asked by the resident if one person can move into a 2-bedroom when the redevelopment is, and they were going to get back. Have you received any information through housing on whether one person could move into a two-bedroom for the redevelopment yet?
I don't know that I can answer that with 100% authority. I think that's part of what we're talking about with Beacon. So I think that Beacon will, at the next time that they make a public, as far as I know, I thought the answer was yes, that they're going to allow people to move in, one person move into a 2-bedroom. But Carolyn, I don't think until they get the award. What they have guaranteed is that everyone will be relocated in the new building, and that's what I know. So I think mathematically it may be that they have to do that. So I can't answer that because I'm not Beacon. I'm not part of their Well, I have in writing that they agree to relocate everyone, and if that means they have to put people in a 2-bedroom, that's what they have to do.
Okay, could I address that?
Yes, please.
From our understanding, now I'm not in stone, But our understanding was if they moved, like say myself, I'm a single person, into a 2-bedroom, it would be temporary. So if you came in with a family and a one bedroom became available, I would then go back in there. In our agreement, we could only move twice. So like the people that are gonna move out from A will only have to move back. If I move into a 2-bedroom, they can move me again into a 1-bedroom.
Correct.
That was the understanding. I don't know that in stone, but
Thank you.
I know we haven't written that you can only move twice. That is in the writing. But I don't know about that, but that's what I was told.
Yeah, I just was hoping that they would do that. When I spoke briefly with Chapman, they had said that if a single person moves into 2-bedroom and a family moves in, that person has to move out. But I just want to know if it was in writing. Yeah, but they have to move into 1-bedroom. I just didn't know if that was, if you were able to get special exception, because I know that the residents had a concern about that. So my other issue is, the moving. I have just a request, just from the, just as a constituent for the constituents around here. In a piece of paper that I was handed by a constituent, it just states that they will be reimbursed when they move. And at the last meeting, it said that, no, we are gonna pay for your moving. So I know, and Jamie was very kind to clarify this for me. So there are some things in writing that are signed by Beacon and some things that are said here. So if we could just try to get some clarification, it would stop the nervousness from the people, because there are 2 different dictations going on. One says reimburse and the other says that we will move you. And the Uniform Relocation Act, I know, is a standard that has to be followed, which says that they will move you at their expense.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I think that there was a lot of calming when Beacon addressed this at the meeting with the residents, in that they are gonna physically, as much as people want it done, literally load boxes into vehicles and move those boxes and place those boxes, and, you know, to the extent that people want Beacon moving their stuff.
To no expense of the town.
Right.
Nothing comes out of our pocket on this move.
perfect.
Right,
It'll come out of my pocket.
yeah, right.
You can quote me on
There you
that.
go, perfect, I'd love to hear that, okay. And then, yes, I did and will volunteer and work with Jamie for a fitness program.
That's wonderful, thank you.
At the residents' expense, it'll be a chair program.
Thank you very much.
And we'll have fun.
So let's keep in touch with the board. If there's needs that you have for that, then, you know, if there's something we can do to help make that happen. I know in the redevelopment, there is a plan for a whole room, a fitness room, and, you know, all kinds of stuff. So then hopefully in the future, we'll move towards being better able to accommodate someone like you who's volunteering to do that.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Todd, can you?
Yes, I'd just like to.
Can you introduce yourself?
Oh, Todd Petrowski, I'm a resident of the district. I'd just like to address a couple things I brought up last meeting as far as building permits. Your consultant said you didn't need permits, but yet you were found in violation of not pulling building permits for work that's been done. You've also been found in violation of fire codes. So my question would be to you guys, the board, mostly you, Tacey, and you, Kate, who've been here for a couple of years now, is how did this happen? Like, aren't you guys supposed to oversee the work that maybe Merit Properties proposes? And how has this been a blatant violation where the town building inspector found you guys in violation? I mean, what's the rebuttal for that?
I didn't know that.
We were not
know that
found
either.
in violation.
No, and you as their lawyer, I can say,
Oh, the fire.
I've never been given those citations that we're aware of.
Oh, so the fire, I stand corrected, but fire was in violation, fire code.
No.
Yeah.
So,
What they stated was in 2013, the housing code had changed where we have a residential heater in the lift system. That lift system was not done by Merit Properties, nor
Right.
was it done basically by the housing authority. That went through the small cities grant, and there was a general contractor that had, and the designs went through the state, so that had nothing to do with Merit Properties. I talked to the fire chief and discussed it, and we talked about different alternatives. He said that, you know, that would be acceptable, but it is not something that we're in violation of a code that we weren't notified that we were in violation of that code.
okay, well, the other thing is I saw an email that said from the Branford building inspector that.
And do you know we have not gotten that email?
Well, then that's a problem from the town and you guys then. I'm just
Right.
the middle guy here. But what I'm saying is I know for a fact is, and I'm sure Commissioner Colella could, being a property manager, I'm sorry, you have to pull permits for certain work, electrical and plumbing. So you mean to tell me in the last 20 years, because I went myself personally and looked at the planning, the town hall, and there has been no permits pulled here. So you mean to tell me in 20 years, a toilet hasn't been fixed? There's been no electrical done? I mean, if you look at these lights right here, you could see right in this room where electrical has been done because you have open holes and lights have been turned. So there has to be some kind of permit pulled for that, and there is nothing.
So, can I address that, Cheryl?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish somebody would address it because.
And I will. One of the reasons we were in executive session is we understand that there are some things that are not being, people are dissatisfied with, and it's being addressed. That's what I can say, and hopefully by next meeting, we will have an answer to some of this that's.
But I mean, would you agree that that was done without a permit? Would you agree?
I'm not going to agree to that because I pay the.
Is that electrical work?
I pay the property manager to manage the property. I'm not an electrician.
May I ask your property manager that question?
Mark, if you change a light fixture, do you need to pull a permit?
No.
That's what you
If you fix a toilet, do you need to?
On the Branford
pull permits
building
or-
department.
It's for, well, some of the fit ups that have extensive work, absolutely, because you have to get a CO, or you should get a CO, have it inspected.
Would you say in 20 years some extensive work has been done here?
I haven't
Please,
been
this
around
is
here.
not-
You're just saying-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't been around here long
Time's
enough
up.
to make a statement like that. I mean, I have noted some things, and when I got called up by the building inspector, we did visit a lot of the units, Todd, and we're working on a resolution. I mean, whatever has happened in the past, it may
I'm not
appear like
blaming anybody here, I'm just
Right.
saying.
It may appear like it has, or it hasn't. It is questionable. You know,
Okay,
so,
thank you.
but we're working on it.
And one last question, and then I'll leave you with this. Is anyone on this board opposed to a forensic audit done to see where the money's
It's been
been
done.
dispersed?
It's been done.
Not a forensic audit.
Yes.
There have been several certified audits.
Has a forensic audit been done, yes or no?
I have no idea.
what that means.
The answer is
Okay,
no.
time's up for.
So would any of you,
portion of the-
no, listen, don't cut me
A
off.
certified audit.
Yeah. this
Has a
is-
forensic
Is a
audit,
forensic audit.
would
That's
any,
certified
Yes.
audit's done.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
that's a
have-
lie, but okay, that's what you guys are good at, keep it up.
Okay, Tom.
Okay, anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I would love to make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Approved. Thank you.